Wait a minute. Hold on. Am I reading that right? Are you telling me, in the year of our Traveler 2023, we got a bad Juju buff for PvP? Is it my birthday? This is amazing. This is like my favorite weapon in the game, and they actually gave it a buff. I can't believe it. The game is playable again. The sun has risen. The darkness has passed. The crops are growing anew. The spring has started. It's all looking up, boys. It's great. We can finally, the dark ages are over. I can't believe it. Bad Juju's back, baby. Let's go.
Alright, but in all seriousness, Bad Juju getting buffed is a big deal. This is already one of the best exotic pulse rifles in the game, both in PvE and PvP. Its strength in terms of its perks, what it does, its range, its aim assist, all that stuff is already S tier fantastic. So a quality of life change like this is a pretty substantial deal. This weapon doesn't need more strength in its perks or in its weapon budget, it just needed that little change to consistency to make it more appealing to your average player, not just your Bad Juju enthusiast like me. So in case you weren't reading on screen as that intro developed, what changed here in the new season is that Bad Juju had a bug fix. Previously, Bad Juju was coded to use auto rifle recoil patterns instead of recoiling like a pulse rifle. Now, in terms a Titan could understand, what that means is previously Bad Juju always felt like it had more recoil than pretty much every other pulse rifle in the game. When you would use it, the damn thing would jump out of your hands sometimes. It made it very unruly and was something you had to put a lot of hours into to master and get used to, and if you could, Bad Juju was extremely lethal, but your average player would struggle to use it. But now, Bad Juju recoils like a normal pulse rifle. It actually feels very stable, meaning that getting those perfect 3-burst beams in the Crucible is a lot more achievable, allowing you to take advantage of the auto reloads, the stacking damage bonuses, everything that makes Bad Juju so fun and so unique. Basically, the barrier to entry has come down quite a lot, making it so that you really should consider using Bad Juju. It's not quite the laser beam that say like an Outbreak Perfected is, because its low stability stat still holds it back, but it is so much more usable than it was previously. And to be frank, it was very usable previously. I've gone flawless many times with Bad Juju previous to this buff. Way back in Season of the Plunder, when we did our Arc 3.0 Trials build, that solo flawless gameplay was with Bad Juju. So I have the receipts, I have the kills in this weapon to vouch. Bad Juju is already worth your time, they just made it significantly better. But there are some things about the weapon that you should know going into it. Bad Juju is a very unique pulse rifle, it requires a unique playstyle, and requires some investment from you to get the most out of it. Very similar to some of our other unique exotics like Crimson. So the biggest thing you need to know going in is that Bad Juju behaves like a certain subset of legendary weapons in this game. When you AD strafe too fast, you'll notice that Bad Juju has a lot of weapon sway. The weapon model and your sight picture sways significantly from left to right, as opposed to other weapons. This is similar to the sway we saw on Forge's Pledge, the Iron Banner pulse rifle. A couple other weapons have shown this over time. I don't really know how to describe what's going on here, but if you've ever shot weapons in real life, you'll know that you stabilize a rifle by holding the stock into your shoulder. But what it feels like when you're holding Bad Juju is that your Guardian is holding Bad Juju away from your shoulder, like out in the air, like just bracing it against his forearm or something. And when your Guardian is wiggling around, the Bad Juju isn't stabilized against your Guardian's body, it's just swaying freely with the motion of you strafing. If that makes any sense, what I'm showing on screen right now before this is Bad Juju strafing compared to No Time to Explain, Outbreak Perfected, just basically some other pulse rifles that you have used. And you'll notice that when you strafe with those other weapons, there's not this dramatic weapon sway back and forth. So when you use Bad Juju, you need to keep in mind that if you AD strafe spam very fast, it's going to be harder for you to hit your shots. Basically, you need to get comfortable with taking longer strafes, which is unfortunate because AD strafe spam is one of the most effective ways for you to dodge shots in this game, so you're going to be a little more vulnerable at first as you get used to the playstyle. But Bad Juju has so much upside that I think it's worth it learning how to play this way, because you can just keep chaining kills, you're going to be beaming people, stacking that damage bonus, and when you get the loop going, it's very, very fun. Of course, I really wish Bungie would change this because this is just a weird animation issue that's present on a handful of weapons. It makes certain weapons feel nearly unusable, and I don't know why it's only a thing on certain weapon models in certain cases when you strafe too fast. It's very odd, and I hope that it gets addressed at some point because it's been this weird issue for years and it's just kind of gone under the radar. Luckily, these recoil changes also were a nice way of pseudo-fixing that. You no longer have to worry about the extra recoil jumping out of your hands while your crosshair goes to Kingdom Come, thankfully. But again, I really hope this gets fixed. I might actually tag Mercules on Twitter and see if maybe we can get a response from the weapons team about like why this even happens. It'd be nice to get some more insight on that. I'm gonna put that in my notes actually. Right alongside solving world hunger and crossbreeding a lemon and an orange. Those are things I got to get around to at some point. Anyways, moving on to the next thing. If you guys are looking for some loadout suggestions wrong with Bad Juju, there's actually quite a lot of cool things you can do here. I really like boosting my range with Bad Juju, so some things you could consider. Lutefaction Boots, a very underrated choice in PvP for Warlocks. Your Empowering Rifts become Mega Giga range. You can do a lot of fun stuff with those. I also love Secant Filaments for Empowering Rifts that give you Devour plus an auto reload weapon with a damage boost from Empowering Rift and a stacking damage boost from the weapon perks. You see what I'm getting at? That's very fun, very cool. On Titan, give Rally Barricade a try. Another thing we're going to talk about at some point. Rally Barricade, underrated. Flinch resistance, stability, more range. Very good if you know what you're doing. Makes Bad Juju feel very crispy, very nice. Now, you want to play some Hunter, you could use Stompies. Oh wait, they got nerfed. Other than that, I don't know. I don't play Hunter. Just use whatever exotic you want on Hunter. Backrus seems cool. I wouldn't know because I don't play the class. So at this point, where does Bad Juju sit in the broader meta? Well, I would consider it to be this great weapon if you enjoy the playstyle to specialize in, because lightweight pulse rifles are indeed not the best archetype in the game. They're very skill intensive. You need to hit 100% of your crits to reach optimal without a damage boost. They're very unforgiving because, like 140 hand cannons, they lose out the time to kill department to SMGs up close and no time to explain at range. So that means you have to put in a lot of work to outplay your opponents with this weapon. But it's very satisfying when you do so. When you start getting those doubles, those triples, those chain kills with Stringer Curses, it's very gratifying because you're having to put a lot more work in than your average weapon because you don't have unfair time to kill advantages or broken perks like Target Lock to help you out. By no means is Bad Juju an overpowered weapon because of the perks that it offers, but when you get into those scenarios where it can shine in its correct ranges, you feel powerful. The power fantasy of Bad Juju delivers, and sometimes that's all you can ask for. It is one of the simplest power fantasies in a first-person shooter, auto-reloading your weapons on kill, but there's something so satisfying about never having to stop the aggression. Getting those kills back to back to back. That's why I love weapons like Huckleberry, Crimson, and Bad Juju. Not having to stop, continuing to put the pressure on the opponents, it's one of those very satisfying playstyles, and in Destiny, there's a lot of different ways to do that. There's a lot of weapons that offer similar things, but Bad Juju is just kind of classic. It's from Destiny 1, it's one of the first exotics I ever used in Destiny 1, and to this day, it's still so good, even in PvE, and it's versatile, feels great, it's got a great sound, got that crunchy, bony reload. Really, the biggest thing that holds Bad Juju back is the weapon model. Unfortunately, like some weapons, there's kind of an ornament difference going here. If you have the gold ornament for Bad Juju, that is the cleanest model you can get, aside from the base look at the weapon. The other ornaments, I'm afraid, are just too bulky. The Ahamkara skulls they keep trying to put on this thing just take up way too much room on screen, and when you combine that with the weapon sway and the recoil that does take more effort than other weapons to control, I just wouldn't recommend it. Go for the base ornament or the gold one. That will give you the best chance. Just like with Crimson, you want the slim weapon model to carry you through. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got. If you guys have used Bad Juju before or after the update, let us know how you like it down in the comments down below. One of our favorite exotics of all time. So happy to see it get some love. Make sure you guys give it a try. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel for more content coming your way. And we'll see you soon with another video. Check out our live streams as well. Maybe we'll be live when this video goes live. Who knows? Other than that, I'll see you guys soon. Have a wonderful day. Peace.